Hey guys, FMS26 here, and welcome back to highlights of RGL and SRL Season 1, and we're here today for Round 3 at the Shanghai International Circuit. My worst track, and we're here at the end of our first round in qualifying, just a sight lap on the Ultra Softs to get ourselves prepared for the softs run at the end of the session as we head towards the line, letting off the throttle there, but oh dear, that's quite a quick lap. A 31.1 is quicker than my PB. And I'm not going to beat that on the soft, so we've shot ourselves in the foot here. We're going to have to qualify in the Ultra Softs and condemn ourselves to the two-stop, the most pointless strategy that exists. And yeah, I mean, 100% my fault. I don't know why I didn't just brake and slow down properly, but yeah, some people will be able to beat that time on softs, and I'm sure people will, but because I'm bad at this track, that's not happening for me. So we'll just go out on the Ultra Softs now and confirm ourselves pole position, because no one else who's quick will qualify on them as we head down towards turn 2 now. Yeah, in the car are rotated nicely, that's technically turn 3, and on the throttle down towards the end of sector 1 and what I believe is turn 6. We have been now purple in sector 1, no surprises there. Second gear, get the car turned in, straighten up the car on the exit and shift up through the gears as we head down towards the tricky middle sector here. We've understeered a lot through that corner, almost running off the track, so as you can see I'm not very good at the game. Managed to get the car turned in nicely that time as we go down to third there, actually not second. Shift up to fourth in the exit, try not to run out too wide as we get the power on before heading towards the second sector split. We're still purple as we head in towards this snail section onto the back straight, very long back straight, so it's crucial to get a good exit off this corner. We've run out quite wide, but the exit hasn't been too bad as Langman puts it in second, meaning it's currently a Ferrari 1-2, which is exactly what we want as we get on the DRS now and we head down towards the hairpin. Crucial to get the braking point right just before the curve there. Down into first gear, get the car rotated. We've missed the apex slightly and understeered. Not the ideal line. Up to second, third, fourth and fifth on the exit as we head down towards the final corner. Fourth gear through here, run the car out wide, don't extend as it will invalidate your time. As we head towards the line, not lifting off this time for 1 minute 30.3, which is pretty average. No, very average, it's terrible. Which gets us palm. Clone Troop takes second, Joe third and my teammate Langman in fourth. So we need to make sure we get a good start and hold up Clone Troop and Joe to try and help out my teammate. Ronin also on the Ultras in 5th, with BR Button in 6th, but he disconnected, and Ginger Ninja in 7th, Joggler in 8th, Visualize in 9th, and Booster Pony rounding out the top 10. So yeah, there you go. The game is telling us Ultra Soft, Soft, Soft. I think we're going to use the mediums instead of the softs because the Ultra Softs are garbage. I really don't want to be on them longer than necessary. So we'll just keep everything under control there and do Ultra Soft, Medium Soft probably. We'll have to wait and see. Putting the fuel up as you do, and yeah, I think that's just about us ready. Or we'll change something else on the setup, probably the brake bars, to prevent our tyres from blowing up. And yeah, I think we're now ready for the race here in China, starting from pole. The first time I've ever qualified higher than 8th round China, but the pole is masked by the fact that I'm on a tyre compound which is 2 steps quicker and I've only got pole by half a second. We have 5 red lights now here in China and it's lights out and away we go. Despite being on the quicker tyres, I've had an absolutely shocking start and Clone Troop's going to have a look up the inside into turn 1. We're going to have to try and hang it around the outside. We do have the more grippy tyres. We made contact and we spun. We spun and that's going to be us in last here. What great physics we have there, Codemasters, and as a result we dropped to 13th and last here on lap 1 at China. I mean, I don't understand why I spun there. Admittedly, I was being quite aggressive squeezing up next to him, but why would my car spin? I don't get it, but oh well. We've now made our issues of being on the Ultra Softs even worse because we've blown them up with the spin, and we're also now last, which is where you shouldn't be if you're trying the strategy where you need to stop multiple times. But yeah, these things happen. Hopefully our pace is good enough to get us back up the field and get us a few points. As you can see, we're already closing on Boost the Pony, who's dropped a couple of positions off the start himself. And hopefully we can get past him pretty quickly. I'm thinking that I'll be coming in lap 2 or 3 because there's literally no point in staying out on these tyres longer than necessary. I even considered lap 1, but instead might as well give myself some advantage by having to do a couple of less laps on the mediums. So we're not going to come in this lap. We're going to try and fight through the traffic a bit on the next lap before coming in or maybe lap 3, it depends how I'm feeling. As we head down towards the hairpin now, almost running into the back of the Toro Rosso, but not quite, as we round the penultimate corner to end the first lap here. Quite eventful, Clone Troops in the lead, and yeah, if he is watching, I've spoken to him already, but no issue with what he did. It was the game's fault, or if anything my fault, that I was quite aggressive on the turn-in, so no hard feelings about that one. I just now need to get a move on and fight my way back up through the field with the tyres, which should have an advantage for about 2 laps here, as we're all over the back of Booster Pony, who's made contact with Warden, presumably via lag, which promotes us up into 12th. Yay! That's 0 more points than we would have had if we were in 13th, but we've got a good run on Booster Pony into the end of sector 1, up the inside, stopping the car down to first. He should get the better exit with the outside line, but we obviously have the superior tyres, which cancels that out, as we're still side by side through the middle sector here. Good respect for racing as we leave each other the space, but I now have the inside line for this next right-hander, and I'm not sure he'll be able to hold it around the outside, and indeed he can't. That moves us up into 11th place here, so 2 overtakes on this lap, 1 because of Warden getting lag bubbled out the way, and 1 actually reasonably decent move on the Toro Rosso there, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I'm going to be a pit stop behind these guys in a couple of laps, so we'll have to make do with the racing that we can do before we end up at the back, as we're now going defensive on the straight. Booster Pony's pretty close to us. He's actually touched me there because desync and the game is really good. We didn't get the best exit off the snail section, but I don't think he's close enough to overtake us into the hairpin as we break down into first gear, defending the inside line. We've gone in quite deep there. Is he going to be able to get the cut back? No, not quite. And that's enough of these ultra soft tyres. Clone Troops, that's the fastest lap, beaten by Langman, my teammate, so hopefully he can bring home some points, as we've almost crashed on the pit entry. That's really good, as we now bring ourselves down to 50 miles an hour for our first pit stop of the race, where we shall put on the medium tyres, I'd assume. Indeed we are. And then we'll go to the end on a set of softs when we come in for our second stop on like lap 16 or 17. And we'll just see where it plays out. Hopefully we can sneak a couple of points. Obviously a safety car would be very nice, but I find that quite unlikely, it must be said. But you never know, Co-Masters could decide to bless us. Let's be honest, not going to happen. But we're in 13th and last here, like a pit stop behind Warden, with a couple of other ultra soft runners still to pit, but they were obviously all ahead of me on track and probably have better pace than me, despite me getting pole, because I'm not very good at this track at all. But we'll have to see how things play out. As we now skip to the end of lap number 6. The other ultra soft runners have pit. Most running since the fastest lap of the race has Booster Ponies in the wall. And I don't know what happened. I'm guessing he had a collision with Ronin or Visualize, who was the other ultra soft runner, but unfortunate for him. But that moves us up into P12 as Langman's now battling with Ronin. He's come into the pits at the end of lap number 10 here, and Ronin's been gone for a spin, and we're going to just about avoid him there. All known as contact, as I tried to cut in on his line. Maybe, I mean, I was ahead, so he was probably going into me as well, but we got the move done, and that moves us up into position 11 out of now 12, because Booster Pony has retired. So yeah, we're not last anymore, but we're still pretty close to last, with Ronin not far behind. And skipping on to lap number 12, Ben JP's unfortunately disconnected, which means there is a point available for us here. You love to see it. So this should be us taking P10 and hopefully getting DRS as well. I don't know where the detection point was, but yeah, we have got it. So that's us up into the points here, and we'll just have to see what we can make of the rest of the race. Maybe Warden will be quite slow. I don't think he practices much for these races, so Warden, maybe we can gain the pit stop back on, but I don't think anyone else we're going to be ahead of once they pit. We'll have to wait and see really as we come around the final corner at the end of that lap, and Haynes is in the pits in the Williams, and that moves us up into 9th, I think. Yes, but not by much, so we're not really going to be in a position to beat any of these guys unless a safety car comes out, which, as I said, is quite unlikely, but these things happen. We'll just get on with it, and we're still ahead of Ronin for the moment, so we are looking good for at least a point, but you never know what's going to happen. Anything could happen here. Well, I'm hoping anything can happen. But skipping on to lap number 15, Ronin's pretty close to us with the DRS as we head down towards the hairpin. He's trucked up the inside, he's gone in too deep. We're going to go for the cut back there, and we get the move done and defend our position there, as we're now up Oh no, we're still in 9th. I apologise. Warden's now in the pit, so that will move us up into 8th. But yeah, Ronan going for a bit of an ambitious move there, just too hot on the brakes, and that's allowed us to defend the move particularly easily as we move up into position 8 now, which will be the highest we've run all race, apart from going into turn 1. So it's not gone well for me today, but I wasn't expecting a good result, although I haven't made it easy for myself by qualifying on the Ultras. Hopefully we'll be better in Baku. As we now skip on to lap number 16, we're going green to the middle sector on what are now 14 lap old mediums, because that does make a lot of sense. But I think we're going to come into the pits this lap for a set of softs, which will take us to the end of the race. And hopefully we can just be pretty quick and fight our way through the field. At the moment we don't have a penalty, but no one gets a penalty around China, so I don't think that's really going to gain us much, because we're not going to be close enough to anyone. So unless they have like 2 or 3 penalties, which is extremely unlikely, then there's not going to be much we can do. As we now head into the pits here, as we've almost done a Hamilton, but luckily there's no gravel there anymore. Ronan follows me in, so we're going for exactly the same strategy to the end here, and hopefully we can pull away from him in the last stint. I don't really want to be battling him. I want to be trying to catch Warden, trying to catch Haynes and get a couple more points, but we drop out of the points, but that's because Ronan's still in the pits. Ben JP has rejoined, but he's too far back now, unfortunately, due to disconnection, as we move up into position 10 here, and we now have 12 laps to go to try and salvage anything from this race. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not hugely confident, but you never know, as we've almost gone on the cross on the pit exit there. That would have been a spin for us almost certainly, because there's not much grip out there. It's not F1 2015 anymore. The grass is not where you want to be, and that would have cost us even more time and probably ruined any hopes we did have of points, let alone catching Warden, who is nearly 10 seconds, oh no, just over 10 seconds ahead of us. So we need to do just under a second a lap for the rest of the race. We'll have to see if that's possible as we skip to the end of lap number 18 here. How's our pace looking? I don't know. Coming around the final corner there as we head towards the line. Sorry about that. And it's the fastest lap. Yay. So we have taken quite a lot out of Warden on that lap, but I'm not sure we're going to be able to sustain the pace as we skip to the... Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, well that's not good driving. So we cut and extend the final corner. Got ourselves a penalty. So now we need to worry about Ronan behind us, who doesn't have a penalty. So we now somehow need to get a 3-second gap to him before the end of the race. His pace was pretty similar to mine. I did start to pull away, but he started to come back at me as the stint went on. So that's an interesting one as we slide our way out of turn 3 and 4 there. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Maybe we can get a 3-second gap. Maybe he'll get a penalty. I mean, I doubt it. It is China. It's quite difficult to corner cut unless you produce whatever the hell I just did into that corner there. As we head now through the middle sector, understeering past the apexes. Actually, Warden's off there, so that promotes us into 9th here, which will give us 2 points, but probably only 1 point when we drop behind Ronan for his penalty. Haynes is too far up the road, so this is looking like the maximum we can get at this point, really. As we now skip to the final lap of the race. Clone Troopers won the race. Congrats to him, as we now got Ronan on the back of us, but it doesn't matter because he doesn't have a penalty. We're going to go defensive anyway. See if we can defend the position from Pride more than anything else. He's going to be later on the brakes around that, so I'm going to try and stick it back in the inside. We've claimed the apex, but he's going to have much superior traction on the exit and probably better tyres because he's looked after them better than me. I would have fought it harder, of course, if I didn't have a penalty, but oh well. It's 10th place for us today as I crashed in the wall out of frustration there. 1 point for our struggles and about an hour's worth of playing F1, but at least it was not a DNF, which could have easily happened. Congrats to Clone Troop on the win. It says Joe came second on the podium, but KJ got his penalty removed, so it's KJ in second with Joe in third, so well done to those guys. Joe extends his championship lead. I won't be second in the championship for much longer, I don't think, but we'll give it a go and see how long we can keep that up. I think it was Langman in 4th, and then I have no idea about the rest. Jogler in 5th? I don't know. It's on screen now. There's quite a good battle throughout the field, but sadly not me getting involved in it for once. And yeah, not our best race, but oh well, these things happen. At least we got a point, and I'll see you next week for Baku highlights. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.